hope your week went well last week. What I want to do this week is open up both our Power and Influence week as well as our Leadership week. So I'm going to open 2 weeks this week for you to look at. And in the first week, we're going to focus on influence. And the reason I'm opening up both weeks is because the essence of leadership is to exert influence, positive influence over others in a way that makes an impact so that we can create change. Leadership is not about the position that we hold, it's about the actions that we take. And the actions that we take around influence make a difference in the quality of our relationships. Most people think about influence as coming from the position of power that they hold, when it's often how we engage in different strategies. So this week, what I'm going to have you do is a reflection. Again, this will be a question, and you'll write 2 short papers. I've included attachments for you. The first one will be focused on analyzing specific influence situations where you were looking to influence someone else. What I'd like you to do is to reflect on the last 6 months, so go back to roughly November 2019 up until this present moment, and identify one successful influence situation where you positively made an impact and influenced an outcome. The examples you choose can be from work, from school, or from home, or any of the community outreach work that you may be doing now as well. They also could be involved if you're on athletic teams, or involved in your churches, or other spiritual groups that you may be involved in. I'd like you to think of first a successful event, something that you achieved the outcome you were looking to achieve, and again, you were the one looking to influence others. And you'll see on the blackboard I've included an example. There are a series of questions that I'm going to have you answer for the successful event, and I'm going to have you describe the situation, what you were looking to achieve, and then what you did. And you can see on the blackboard I described how I prepared for a meeting on a specific project, actually as we were looking to transition to online teaching for all of our classes. And with one colleague, I knew there would be some concerns, and I developed actually a list of 4 or 5 specific questions before I met with her. And I sent those to her on email, and then I told her I really wanted to get her input and get her ideas about how we could handle this particular transition. And then I went through the questions, and I watched as her face changed. She became more open. The defensiveness started to drop as we were talking. So this would be an example of what I did to prepare. When you look at the questions and the example of what I'm going to be asking you to complete, as well as how she was responding differently. And what I was thinking about as I was writing down these questions and asking her the questions was that I really wanted to make sure that she was fully bought in to this transition and the strategies and approaches we were going to use in order to make this a successful process for online learning. So the outcome in this situation was successful, and then what I'm going to have you do is look at an unsuccessful or less successful event. You can see on the second page of the attachment that I have, what I'd like you to do is reflection on the exact same questions. Thinking about successful or less successful event, it could be that you achieved the result you were looking to achieve, but it was very painful. There was some conflict, it felt negative. You felt maybe there was even some trust that was diminished as a part of the interaction that you occurred. And I again would like you to write down the same type answers to the same questions. And in these situations when we're unsuccessful or less successful, what I often have found in working with leaders and with students is that they often are not preparing sufficiently. So it is fine if when you write down what did you do to prepare, you might reflect on it and say, I really didn't do anything. And as a result, the discussion didn't go as well. So you may have, I was thinking I should have spent some more time, sent maybe some information beforehand, or maybe asked the questions in a different way. So those would be the types of elements you could put in the unsuccessful event. Again, you can choose situations from work, school, home, community, athletic groups, etc. So 2 situations you can type right in the document. It's a Word document I've posted. And submit that through the assignment link that I have on the blackboard for our Power and Influence Week. Then you're going to analyze your 2 successful and unsuccessful events. You're going to have 1 of each, so 2 events total. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I have a 1-page handout of 9 separate influence strategies that I've created. And again, I've attached it onto Blackboard for you. So after you've finished the first part of the assignment, I'd like you to open up the document that says 9 influence strategies, and then the document that says influence strategies analysis for these 2 events. And what I'd like you to do is read through the 9 strategies and then identify for your successful event what you did based on those 9 strategies, and look at the specific bullets. So you can see I included my example on the Blackboard where I indicated I used consultation with the 2 behaviors that I had exhibited, and interpersonal sensitivity or personal appeal by really thinking about what she would want to hear and asking questions and listening for her responses and then incorporating her ideas into the plan. So that would be what I would include in my successful example of my influence strategies that I've used. Then I would go to my unsuccessful and again type in on this form what I did or didn't do and note that. Remember, for the unsuccessful or less successful events, it's probable that you may have even not used any of those influence strategies. And for the successful event, you did 3, 4, 5 different strategies and the associated behaviors. So once you've done the analysis, looked at all 9 and analyzed your successful and unsuccessful, then in the last section on this handout, I'd like you to identify in that less or unsuccessful event, now that I look back at it and I look at these 9 strategies, what could I have done differently? Which strategies? And I'd like you to type that in the bottom part. Again, you can use the exact document I've posted up on Blackboard for you. And I'd like you to write down what you could have done if you could go back in time and rerun this less successful or unsuccessful event. Be as specific as you can in describing the actions you would have taken, the behaviors you may have exhibited to prepare, what you may have done when you were interacting, what you would have said or done differently, and link them to the 9 behaviors, the 9 influence strategies on that handout. That's the second document, and this is both of these are worth 5 points each. You'll submit that on the assignment link, and that will be, again, those 2 combined will be worth 10 points. The final part of your assignment for this week is to look at a discussion board post where I'd like you to set goals related to, based on this analysis, what you will do in order to exert more positive influence as you are working with others in classes, at work, in community or athletic contexts, at church, or in other spiritual groups that you're involved in order to make a positive influence. And again, the positive influence strategies are what we use to create leadership. Leadership being about actions, not the positions that we hold. And then what you'll see is when you open up the leadership week, I have posted 3 videos that will allow you to look at examples of what leaders do in order to interface well with others and to build positive relationships. For the leadership week, it's worth 10 points. And again, that week I'll just be expecting you to do the reading or look at the PowerPoint overview that I've summarized from that chapter 13 in our book, and then the 3 videos on leadership. Again, there are no late assignments in our class this semester, so if you do need extra time, please just send me an email. We can talk voice to voice, or you can let me know via email when it works for you to get these assignments completed so that you can successfully complete our course, which is my commitment to each of you. In the meantime, you take good care. I hope you're finding some time to take care of yourself physically, take care of yourself emotionally, and take care of your relationships with each other. Thank you so much. You're a great class, and I look forward to reading your papers and your analysis this week on influence and the strategies you're going to take in order to continue to expand your influence.